Okay, welcome back, everyone. This will be a demonstration of how to do non-standard operations. You won't find it in IXL, but there is an accompanying worksheet entitled non-standard operations. I'm going to show you what these mean and how to do them. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. Okay, so non-standard operations. There will be a worksheet that you'll be able to get to in your Google Classroom. Okay, what are non-standard operations? Well, let's start with this. What is this? I want you to pause and think about what this is. Okay? Did you say plus sign? That's fine. Pause and think of something else that it might be. Okay? So maybe you said, well, it's a T. It's two lines crossing. Yeah, it depends on the context, right? It could be all kinds of things. I mean, really all it is two lines intersecting, one going this way and one going this way. It can mean all kinds of things. It could be an intersection. It could be, I don't know, it could be, for a game, you put something here and something, I don't know. But we tend to think of this as a plus sign when we're in a math class because that's the context that we're thinking about. So it tells us what to do if we have a number here and a number here. It says you count 1, 2, and then you keep going for 3 more, 4, 5, or 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 and 3, 2 and 3 together make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the operation that it's telling us to do. It's just telling us to do adding. And there are several of these that we're used to using. And we call these standard operations. Put the two groups of numbers together. Take the amount of one group away from the other group. If you started with 5 and took 2 away, you'd have 3. Take however many groups of the same number. So 3 groups of 4 would be 12. That's 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 4 is 12. This says how many of the same number of a group go into a bigger group. Well, if you had 12 altogether, how many groups of 3 are there? There are 4 groups of 3. How many groups of 4 are there in the 12? There are 3 groups. So these are some of the standard operations that we're used to. But there are a bunch of other standard operations, way more than what I have on here. You could plus or minus. Put some number in here and it says how far is that from 0. Take some number, multiply it by itself. You see it twice, you multiply it by itself once. What number times itself? There's a 2 there, if it's invisible. What number times itself is equal to 9? There's the derivatives. There's the sum of. There's a bunch of these. Okay, so they tell you what to do with values. All right, values typically meaning a quantity, which we typically think of as numbers. So let's think of what a non-standard operation might be. Well, what if we made up our own? What if we said, anytime I see, anytime I see this symbol right here, that means, well, first of all, let's see what values are going to be. Whenever I see that symbol, that means if I see a number A, and a number B, we'll have to fill some numbers in for that. What I want you to do is I want you to take A, add it to B, and divide the whole thing by 2. Anytime so. I would need to know what A and B are to know what I need to do with those 2 numbers. So let's say A is equal to, 4, and B is equal to 6. What do we do? Well, I need to add them together. 4 plus 6, and divide the whole thing by 2. Okay? Well, that's 4 plus 6. This is a group up here. This is a grouping symbol. 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So A smiley face B means you add A and B together and you divide it by 2. So that's just an example. And I gave you a worksheet with 3 different types of these. This says A fisheye B means you take 2 times A and you add it to B. Well, let's use an example. Let's say that it says if A is equal to, 7. Oops, A is equal to 7. That's an A. And B is equal to 3. Okay, B is equal to 3. That means we're going to take 2 times 7, because that's what the A is. And then we're just going to add the B, which is 3. Well, 2 times 7 is 14. 14 plus 3 is 17. Okay, so A fisheye B, if A is 7 and B is 3, would equal 17. Okay, and there's a few examples of that on your worksheet. So look at the next one that says A star B. Well, if you have A star B, then you take A and you divide it by 3 times B. So let's think of an example again. Let's take A is equal to, I don't know, 16. And B is equal to 2. Then we end up with 16 divided by 3 times 2, which is 16 divided by 6. That simplifies down to 8/3. Okay, there's another example. All right, let's look at the last thing that I say. If you see A, and this is a Greek letter, I won't get into it. A, this funky thing here, B, is equal to B divided by A, and then you take that times 5. Well, let's let A equal, I don't know, 10, and B equal 2. Okay, so let's see, you've got 2. That's B divided by 10. That's A times, this times right here, 5. Well, that's 2 divided by 10 is 1 divided by 5. 1 divided by 5 times 5 is 1 divided by 5 times 5 over 1, which is 5 over 5, which just equals 1. Okay, so that's just some examples. It gives you the non-standard operation, and you're going to see they're going to be non-standard to you, even if they're standard to everybody else, because there's a lot of symbols that you just haven't seen yet. You saw some of those earlier. This tells you what to do with them. Okay, practice, and then the very last one will be you make up your own and tell me what to do with it. You work, give me the A and the B on it, and then you work it out. Make sure you have the right answer. If you have any questions on these, just let me know.